Dearest Diary, it is I, Gabison Fields, and adventure has been quite stressful as of late. Finally found the secrets of the doll, and it was a bubble wand? Or something of the sort. And yet, I can't dwell on it too much, as I've been summoned to court, and I will have to give up my personal belongings before too long. Until next time, Diary.
Such a cop-out.
Such a cop-out. No, it's a cop-in. I'm going to jail.
Alright. So, you were taken to a cell for the night, and you're going to be speaking with an inquisitor in the morning.
Yep. So, I gotta make with the honking and the shooing, because court. Or is this a questioning? This isn't court. This is a what kind of crime was committed so we could charge you appropriately type thing.
Possibly. You don't know what the full charges are. You just know they want you for the leaving of the academy. Yeah, so you're in a cell. So the cells, they're just, very basic. There's a bed, there's a place to use the bathroom, and that's it. There's just it's a little stone room. There's a blanket on the bed. It's not a great blanket. It's not a terrible blanket. It's a blanket that'll do the job.
It's one of those silver store throw blankets you can pick up at any old silver store. Not Silver U, but like the fantasy equivalent of a specific business.
Yeah. So, something along those lines. Just real basic, real cut down. There's nothing there to you could possibly cause harm on. The bed is just basically part of the wall almost.
Is there any prison graffiti?
There is not, because there's no way to really make any kind of graffiti unless you just start, carving your fingernails into stone blocks.
I mean, people have...
Because when I say there's nothing in here, there's nothing in here.
Yeah. That's fair. I didn't know if anybody had, scratched into the toilet or whatever.
No, like I said, you'd have to use, your bare fingernails into stone blocks, because all the furniture's stone block.
Even the bed?
It's stone block wall. There's a wider block that comes off the wall. That's the bed.
It's just a stone bed.
Yes, it's a stone slab with a blanket on it.
Is it at least a heated stone slab?
No.
Wow. What did I do to deserve this? Skip my graduation. That's it.
It'll definitely do wonders on your back.
I mean, you know what? It could. I've heard that sometimes certain things that seem uncomfortable can actually, click your back into place.
Yeah, so they took your stuff, they take your clothing, they basically you're in you're in the garb that they give you there. It's just a basic garb. It's warm, but once again, it's not too warm. The god of justice and everything being just in the right place sort of situation. Everything is just enough to be passable.
Mm-hmm. Are there other prisoners?
There are other prisoners in the hallway, but nobody in you are in a cell by yourself.
Nobody else in the wing?
There's other prisoners around your cell, but you're the only one in your cell.
Oh. Might ask a couple of them what they are in for.
That's a couple prisoners what they're in for. So I think the one on your right...
One of these poor bastards is in here for jaywalking. I'm calling it now. Do you have a table for what people are in prison for?
Actually, I have things. I'm making notes too.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Because I know you're going to ask some stuff, so I need to get my notes ready because I know you.
Well, I mean, yeah. Listen, if things get real bad, I could turn state's witness. Just kidding, guys. No narc. Within reason.
Yeah, I know you. I know you're going to be like, oh, what's this person's name and what does this person do? And like, I know
Hey,
you.
listen.
I'm
Hey,
ready.
listen. Whenever I don't, you're like, oh, nobody asked questions. And whenever I ask,
I don't want you just to question. I don't want you to question my random NPCs, but if you can question other things, that'd be great.
Listen, it's important information. We're still looking for our very own Boblin the Goblin that everybody, including the party, will fall in love with. So I gotta ask everybody what their name is. I'm gonna be real sad if somebody ever trademarks Boblin the Goblin as a name.
Oh, Boblin. All right, so back to the thing. The prisoners around you. So the ones that are like right nearby you that you could easily talk to. There is on your right hand side a human, sounds like a man. That person will tell you that they're in for suspected murder.
Oh.
So that's on your right hand side. On your left hand side, it's an elven, sounds like a man. He's in for theft. Straight across from you is a gnomish female who is gagged. And then across from you and on the left-hand side is a drow female who just laughs at your question.
So, did you all do it?
The human and the elf will both be like, "What, do you think we're stupid?"
No. Hell. No, not really. I'm in here because, I got kidnapped before I could graduate from mage school. Maybe jaywalking. Maybe jaywalking.
The human will kind of chuckle a little bit. He says, if you're in this wing, you're in here for something much worse than that.
Well, the summons said because I didn't graduate, so.
That's how they get you. Make it look small, then you get here and you find out it's a lot bigger than you thought it was. Yeah, you think you know what's going on, but I don't think you do. At least not the full story.
Well, I figured it was a little bit worse considering the neighbors they put me by. No offense to all of you.
They'll just kind of... There'll be a little chuckle at that. The elf will speak up and just say, yeah, I guess it takes one to know one.
A criminal?
Yeah, especially those of us of harder offenses.
Again, the only thing that I could think of that I got in trouble for was that I technically didn't graduate from mage school. Somebody might have died while I was kidnapped, but I know where there's evidence that would prove my innocence, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, so as you're talking, one of the champions will come through and will start striking bars with a metal rod.
Lights out type deal.
Tells everybody to be quiet in there. You're not in here for a luxury tour.
He didn't even say please. How rude.
Yeah, so you're able to go to sleep, and you wake up in the morning. You're not the first one to leave the wing. You are the second one. The person that comes to get you is a small statured individual. Most likely of halfling heritage, because they're quite small.
So one of me.
Yes.
Oh, I would have wished my bunkmates good luck whenever they take you in, unless you did it, in which case, God's have mercy and all that, blah blah blah. Good night. So I'm being taken by a halfling. Taken to court. Mm-hmm. Well, Inquisition.
The halfling that takes you back is wearing the dark robes of the Inquisitor's order.
They're really going all out just because I missed graduation.
And he'll take you into a room, set you down on a chair, and you'll feel that nagging feeling in the back of your skull that magic is being suppressed in this room.
Almost feels like home.
Yeah, so in this room there is the single chair where you're sitting. There's another chair on the other side of this table. And then the walls around you are more stone, but you can see small shelves on these walls where there's different little trinkets on.
Like trinkets or tools of torture?
Like trinkets.
Okay.
And then straight across from where you are sitting is a small window that's about 2 feet from the ceiling of this room. So it's way up there on this
so
wall.
Some natural lighting with a limited risk of escape.
Yes, and you can see on the ledge of that window, that's where the flowers are at.
Ah.
So the halfling will sit down. He'll before he sits down, he walks over to one of the shelves and grabs a quill and some paper. He'll sit down on his chair, he'll put the quill up, and he'll whisper something to it. And you'll see the quill will stand up. And it begins to write what he says.
Oh, that's real neat. Is that one of those, what do they call them in court? Stenographers, but as a quill?
You'll notice the question you asked is written on the document.
Wow, that would have been real handy taking notes back in school.
So he'll look at you and says, "Are you quite finished?"
Yeah.
Alright. So, Guyverson Fields.
There's a lot of middle names, but we don't have time for that. But yes, that's me.
Do you know why you wanted in here today?
The golem sent a summons because I didn't finish my mage training, and there was potential leverage that was going to be used against my family if I didn't show up in court. Also, it's just the right thing to do to get everything all settled.
Sorry, notes.
Man, you should have one of those quills, Silver.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So it says, you're conveniently forgetting a couple lines there as you denote why you're here. And he's going to walk over to one of the shelves. He gets up, walks over the shelf, and pulls an item from the shelf.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those culty daggers.
Oh, does it look like it's been in
And
the loo?
He sets it down on the table.
Oh, yeah, that's one of those, they stabbed me with that when they took me out of the school.
Or did you stab yourself after killing 5 of your fellow students?
Do I really look like the sort that could kill 5 people all by my lonesome?
I don't know. You seem like you're a capable individual.
I mean, if I have help, but, do you want to know what happened that night? Or are you going to make assumptions?
I'd be delighted to hear your side of the story, considering the only set of prints on that weapon belong to yours truly.
Mm-hmm. Well, question, why would I go through the trouble of stabbing myself if I was going to put it in the toilet?
I do not begin to believe I can understand the minds of the criminals. There are definitely some weird eccentricities that I myself do not have.
All right. Well, are you familiar with the Fateless?
Of course I am.
Uh-huh. And, remind me, how does this country feel about the Fateless?
They can be a bit of a nuisance because they do not follow any of the grand plans that have been established.
And what out of character, what was, quick reminder for those at home and for myself, what was the name of the twins and Fritz that they go by in this world?
They're just the agents of fate.
And how does this nation feel about the agents of fate?
An absolute nuisance that no matter what happens, they always find a way to intrude.
So, you know about that one cult that is kind of a problem. Goes around kidnapping Fateless and trying to sacrifice them for nefarious purposes.
Of course.
Well, apparently I am Fateless, and they tried to do just that. They took me to the Central Spire, and were planning on sacrificing me for some sort of gaining a power. Bunch of woo-woos, if you know what I mean. I'm really sorry to hear that 5 people lost their lives on that night when they came and forced me to drink a potion, carried my unconscious body, half naked, all the way to the Central Spire.
Well, there was more than 5 killed, but this particular dagger killed 5.
There was more than 5. My goodness, how many did they bring to come kidnap little old me?
I believe our total count of deaths puts it at 10 total.
Oh no, who died?
There was only two of a higher consequence than students.
Well,
One of the guards of the floor, he was murdered in a most heinous fashion. And the other was one of the professors.
oh no, which professor?
He was the professor who taught the alchemy. Apparently he was on the floor that night, and one of these cultists found him as they roamed, though this dagger here killed the guard.
Oh. Was it? It wasn't Harold, was it?
Well, you should know. You're the one who used it.
No, correction. I was told I could go quietly, or, things would happen. And when they came in with the bloody dagger, I tried to kick my assailant in the gonads. And I got stabbed for my efforts. And I decided, well, I think they're going to take me. So what I should do is make sure that there's some evidence left behind, and I put it in the privy. So that way, at least somebody would know that something had happened. And hopefully somebody would realize that I tried to fight.
I need to roll a thing. Because I found out that sense motive checks are perception based and not society based.
Oh, word? Oh, that's unfortunate.
So you try to profess that you have no knowledge of any of these murders, and that you were just captured by them.
I was aware that some people had probably been injured, but when I awoke and found myself of sound mind, I was not necessarily in a position to do anything about it. And since then, I've been quite busy on my way to eventually make my way back here to explain myself. I seem to have been unfortunately caught up with the agents of fate. You know how much of a nuisance they can be.
Yes, they tend to grab people up
Well,
into these horrible adventures.
well, apparently I've been tasked, I believe, with helping to fix magic.
Magic could indeed use a good fixing.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the towers and try to find artifacts to restore order. These damn cultists keep showing up at all the towers.
So, you can roll perceptions against him too, by the way.
I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be an easy roll considering he's wearing a whole garb.
I mean, it's just robes. It's not like a face mask or anything. It's like robes and a cowl over armor.
Okay, you say Percepio.
Mm-hmm.
Percepio von Cuscio. That's a 23.
All right, so I'll say you seem to kind of you notice he kind of relaxes from that very sort of like that if you've ever dealt with a cop, like you never dealt with a cop and they're kind of on that edge right away, and then as you kind of you talk to them, you're not being aggressive or you're not being really bad towards them. A lot of them tend to back off. That's kind of how he's doing now. Like he's not quite as on edge.
I'm winning him over, maybe. Or at the very least, he thinks he could take me. He's probably certain he could take me.
Especially because you have no magic at this stage. Yeah. And he may have a weapon you don't know. So, okay. You say you were kidnapped away and you were brought to the central spire. We did receive messages that the cult for the last month has been making moves into Nordican territory, and we've been having to push them back repeatedly.
Well,
But to make it all the way to Leland Lake, that That seems a bit hard to believe.
I think they might have some people on the inside. Apparently, old members of the cult, like the founders, are pretty big deals. One of them's a green dragon, I think. I don't like her. I haven't met her, but she seems really full of herself.
There haven't been dragons on this in this land for longer than even the oldest of elves can remember.
She'd be in disguise, I think. There also seemed to have been, correct me if I'm wrong, Silver, there was like a lich.
So yeah, there was a lich. You can give me a history real fast to see if you can remember all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember it, probably. Because I got a 18
wrong
plus...
notes.
Where is history? Wait a minute. Hey, Silver, history isn't a Pathfinder thing.
Dang it.
There.
I thought I had one in my head that was a roll
There's
for
society, there's diplomacy, there's occultism, religion, arcana.
Excuse me.
Just a flat intelligence.
It's more of a wisdom.
Oh.
Memory's more of a wisdom.
Performance? I'm telling you, I'm weaving a tale of like some of the things that have happened since then.
I do think you need a performance for that, but especially if you're trying to do it in a way that's like kind of engaging. But for the recall of this, I need a wisdom.
Okay, so my wisdom is 19, and my performance is 23. I get a +8 in performance.
All right, so you would, with that knowledge recall, you'd remember that there was an elf female, the lich, and then you remember there was a human, and then you don't remember the full details of the other three.
And then there was the green dragon lady. That was a tiefling?
Yes, you already mentioned that one, so I didn't include her. Yes.
Okay, so, you know that, I don't know if you've ever been in the, like the mages libraries. You seen that, that one codex on ancient magics? It's written in Draconic.
He's gonna kind of look at you like, I don't know magic, so I would not have any knowledge of this. Kind of that look of like, I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Right. So there seems to be leaders, and I believe since we escaped, there were other people that had been kidnapped from other areas around the continent. There was one, Dorric. He's some man of cloth from up yonder. I really need her straight notes.
It does make me laugh thinking that he is a man of the cloth sometimes.
Yeah. He feels like a man of the cloth, like I thought quicksand would be a problem as an adult. And then there's Theodore. He's a merchant raised by orcs. Apparently also both fateless, and they'd been taken by the cult. We escaped together. And on that task I told you about previously, on, I believe, trying to help us restore a little bit of order. Part of the reason you may have seen a rise in the cult in the region is that they are trying to head us off at Hall of the Towers because they know we have to head there. So that might explain some of it. But also they're just a general nuisance.
They've always been a general nuisance in this land, and we've always done very well at seeking them out and expelling them throughout the years.
But I am really sorry to hear about the loss of life on that night where I was taken. If my condolences could be passed on to the survivors and the surviving family members, I'd be much appreciated.
Well, we don't fully know that you were not the one who did the act yourself. So.
Also, let you know that my main weapon of choice these days is a frying pan. So if it had been blunt force trauma, I may have been more... Have you ever seen a farm halfling with a frying pan? It is quite the dangerous weapon.
I'm sorry, my brain is just like... now my brain just pictured a whole battalion of...
I brought it up last session where it was a whole platoon of halflings being like, well, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our cast iron. Riding in on like oh god, what are they called? The big mountain dogs that have the barrel, Saint Bernards, just riding on the Saint Bernards, just bang.
Oh my god, I want art of this now. A whole cavalry of halflings with frying pans on big ass dogs.
There's one guy that's really short, even for a halfling, and he's riding on like a wiener dog, but he's got the biggest frying pan.
They call him Little John.
They call him Little.
They call him Little
John, or they call him the one with the big iron on his head.
I like that they call him Little John, just not to his face.
Oof.
Yeah, so he'll nod, and then... Okay, so you're saying you were kidnapped, which, not knowing of the murders, does lend some credence to that. That you were not the one who used it, even though your prints were the only ones found. And you wouldn't have been the first murderer to conveniently stab yourself before you disappeared to say, oh, I didn't do it because I was also injured.
But why would I put it in the toilet, though? If I wanted to plant evidence, why would I try to hide the evidence that I would use to try to make myself seem innocent?
Like I said, I do not know the mind of a criminal to that depth.
Alright, also, which hand was on the dagger? Which handprints?
Should I say like right or left?
Yeah.
God, I don't know if you'd be able to pick that. I don't know enough about
like you'd be able to tell with the way they're patterned. Like that one's clearly thumb.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't remember what hand you caught it with.
I didn't catch it. I pulled it out with my left and tossed it in the loo, and I tried to punch at the guy with my right.
Well, that's what I meant. You know, whatever hand you used to throw it away.
Yeah, it was left hand, but guy is right-handed.
I mean, you could be a switch hitter.
That sounds innuendo.
That was kind of the point. No, so it was indeed a left hand that made the imprints on the handle, but so you profess innocence in the crime of the murder.
Correct.
And I'm led to believe that is indeed the case.
Do you know what I was going to do if I had graduated and none of this happened?
I do not know what you were going to do if you graduated.
I was going to find a nice job and send money back to my family to help take care of them. If I was on the run for murder, I wouldn't really be able to do that very well.
That is That is a that's a pretty noble goal to take care of your family like
I'm
that.
hoping if we can get this all cleared up, I could go and pick up a couple of chickens and deliver it to my family farm. I got young siblings that probably could use the extra protein, grow up big and strong.
Right. Bess, we can definitely look at that. The other crime, however, is dodging the graduation, which, as you said, it was a kidnapping, so it was not necessarily your fault.
Right. I would have had to come here one way or another to either clear things up or get to the tower up north on my quest, so Golem just happened to find me first.
They are indeed quite good at finding those who escaped. Especially those who escaped the magic schools.
Well, I can tell you whoever pulled this off had a lot more wealth planning and connections than I would.
Indeed. It will require us to take a deeper look into the affairs of the Academy, of the Citadel there. However, you still have to finish your course before we can safely release you back into the grander world. For you do represent Nordica in your own way.
Hopefully I can do my nation proud. Any idea how long all that might take? Just so I can let my compatriots know how long I'm going to be.
That is not of my wheelhouse. I only work on the pursuit of criminals and bringing them to justice. I do not work in the affairs of the Citadel.
Well, what you do is important work, so I'm glad we could. It sounds like we've come to a consensus that I'm very, very unlikely to have been the one that caused all this mess.
Yes, you definitely do not fit the type who could have pulled it all off. So as for continuing your education, we need to send you directly to the Citadel for you to finish.
Right.
There is currently a representative in the temple for the Citadel who can take you there swiftly as they are returning this very night.
It'd be really... I know I'm technically fateless, but it'd be a real strange twist of fate who's the same one who brought me to the Citadel all those years ago.
I don't know who brought you to the Citadel all the years ago, but this one is one of the professors.
Oh, probably not. Right. Would it be at all possible to send a message again to my compatriots that I'm going to be heading towards the Citadel? Not for them to, just so they don't worry. I don't want them to wait in town any longer than they have to.
Well, you gave us their names. Do you know where they are staying so we can deliver a message?
I don't know where specifically they are, but I did have a message sent to them yesterday, and I believe the best guess I gave was it was a nearby tavern, but probably one not overly frequented by the church, if that makes sense. No offense to the church, just it's y'all tend to be a little strict and can make people not regulars in this neck of the woods a little bit uptight in their first visit.
Yes, outsiders tend to not look favorably upon us. Though, to be fair, we don't necessarily look favorably upon outsiders very often either, so...
Well, hey, sometimes people just don't get along.
Yes, outsiders tend to violate the law, and we punish them rather severely, so...
It might help if there was like a pamphlet on a list of things that they can do. I know that's it'd be impossible to put a pamphlet together for...
Do you think we would be able to do something simple like that? I've once suggested we have everybody who comes to visit the country sit through a presentation with the Book of Laws, but apparently that made the test subjects of that first one sleep during the training. So.
I bet it could work if you, what's the word? Zhuzh it up a little bit, you know? At least have a little bit of music playing.
Zhuzh up the laws. Nice.
Like I get it, but, you know, not everybody outside of here has taught it from the beginning, so it's a lot to go over.
Right. Well, we will have to take you back to your cell, and then the representative will come to get you there, and they'll be able to take you to get your things to move on. If you wish to pen a letter to your companions, you may do so here. I can get you a quill. That way it's not us who's telling them what's going on, it's you who's telling them what's going on.
That'd be good. And nothing's come about all this to my family, has it?
No, we needed to verify the facts before we came down on any accessories.
Oh, thank goodness.
Though apparently your mother is quite upset that she has not seen you yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's a good mother. She worries, though.
Most do.
I hope my siblings aren't giving her too much trouble. Apparently I've been giving her plenty enough.
Alright, so he'll grab a second quill and slide out some paper for you to write your letter.
Dearest Theodore,
I want you to, whatever you put in here, to send to the boys in the Discord.
Okay.
Because I'll have you send it to them. I'll have you send it in the Discord because that'll be your thing that they get at the start of their next or their time together.
Counterpoint. I could say it off here, write it down, and then I could come in for that one moment in the episode and read it to them.
that could work too, but just as long as you have it written down somewhere where you can actually...
Or have Ograd try to read it in a guy voice, a guy writing voice, what it says.
That'd be kind of funny.
Okay. Oh, boy. Give me a second. I'm going to type it out then.
Yep. You'll notice this halfling will kind of go over to the side, and he'll say some words, and a golem made of stone will basically pop out of that wall, and then leave the room to go follow his commands. So the seamless golem just pops out of the room. Right, you got it all right now?
Dearest Theodore and Dorric, I'm in good enough health and seem to be mostly cleared of charges. I seem to simply need to finish my studies and quickly graduate from the Citadel, also known as the Mage School. I have no idea how long it will take, but I'll do my utmost of efforts to get the job done in record time, dear friends. While there, I will attempt to also glean any information I can at their library about the Spire or the cult and its leaders. At some point in the near future, we will also have to take a stroll over to my old homestead, assuage the concerns of my dear mother, and for myself to drop off some funds for the homestead. Best regards, Gavison Fields.
Nice.
Because his brain, he's got a beautiful mind. but the vocation of Bumpkin.
I always forget that your name is spelled. His name is spelled that way. I always forget it's spelled that way.
Yeah.
And it's probably like an overly flowy signature too.
Yes. With and then the underline when it's like in cursive, a lot of fancy signatures have an underline under it. It is a like the G is like curled and decorated like a goat's horn, and underneath is one long wheat stalk from the S underlining the whole thing.
Alright, so you write the letter. He's going to take it and put it into an envelope, and he's going to seal it with his Inquisitor
I'm assuming
seal.
he also read over it first to...
Yeah, kind of glance over, make sure there's nothing in there.
Was there any sort of like eyebrow raised at the... Like the way Guy talks and the way Guy writes are two very different things.
I mean, there might have been a little bit of that kind of like, okay, this makes a little more sense.
Like, well, he did go to college, so I guess. Like, I bet there was like an eyebrow raise, like, okay.
So yeah, he does that, and he's gonna kind of put it in the envelope, and then he'll put his inquisitorial seal on it. And the inquisitorial seal is it's a set. So the inquisitorial seal is it's a quill crossed with a sword on a golden wax seal. So he seals it, and then he says, "Alright, well, I'll take you back to your cell, and your representative will meet you there to get you off to the Citadel."
Sure enough. Sorry, I had to fight a sneeze. Out of character, I had to fight a sneeze. Sure enough, dog is making a lot of noise. Sure enough, I wonder how many of my cell neighbors will still be around when I get back.
He'll kind of give a shrug. So that's out of my control. It'll take you back to your cell. Kind of lock you
what
back
was your
in.
name?
And as he locks the door, he says, "You can refer to me as Ben."
Inquisitor Ben or just Ben?
Just
Ben.
Ben.
Well met, Ben. You can call me Guy.
Yeah, he's gonna lock the door and then turn and walk away. And it's probably about an hour or two later when an elven woman walks up wearing wearing robes
Does she look familiar?
of the Citadel. She's familiar from like a distance, but not familiar enough to you've had like a class with her.
I didn't have any of her courses. Was it like an elective?
Yeah. It's so she does. So she would teach more like. She's one of the ones that teaches more like graduate type courses, where it's people who have finished the academy and have decided to stay on. That's the kind of stuff she teaches.
Mm-hmm. Wizard school. Unlike those nerds, I'm a sorcerer. I just get my magic. I'm a trust fund magic baby. Daddy let me play with the magic money. Great grandpapa.
I don't like it.
He certainly didn't leave it in his will. I mean, that's what sorcerers are. They're not sugar babies. They're trust fund. They're trust fund babies.
I know. I just don't like it.
Listen, warlocks are sugar babies.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Huh? It doesn't make it not true.
I didn't say it did, but I don't like it. All right, so she's gonna come get you, and then you're going to head out of the city and on a cart.
Is there a pothole?
You in the dang
It's
potholes.
a joke. Like, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and people 100% complain about potholes. Potholes and taxes.
I live on the outskirts of the largest city in my state, and we all complain about potholes. There's actually a joke here that no, officer, I'm not drunk. I'm dodging potholes.
I mean, yes, you've talked about this, but like your potholes are there because of like negligence. Our potholes are here because we just have a lot of winter.
I mean, we have a lot of winter too, but negligence does play a very large part of it.
Our ground's a lot of clay and sand.
Yeah, down here's a lot of clay too.
You get it though.
So my whole yard's clay. It's really bad when it rains. My whole yard basically just turns into a giant wet sponge.
And at the same time a slip and slide. It's I'm either going to sink like 4 inches deep into this, and I'm going to need to change my other shoes, or I'm going to do a Charlie Brown flip.
All right, so I'm going to do the same thing we do with the other guys. Since there's the two of us here, we have 4 things we close on.
So
you pick 2.
I'm going to do theme of the week.
That's mine, so no.
I'm going to do the rating and Discord then.
Okay.
I almost wish we could leave that part in. So, listen. Okay, now listen. After the dog was done making all of the noise that probably got picked up on this Audacity. Here, text. Just cut till here. So, everybody, all of you, if I haven't bullied you enough, go on Discord. Go on Discord. Go on Discord. Go. Wow, is that a tongue twister, or am I just dumb? Go on Discord. Do it. Do it now.
So what he's doing here is he's doing to you what I did to him about playing the Skull and Bones beta.
Yes.
Where I bullied him for about 48 hours.
Go on Discord. Listen. We just opened up a new channel today. This is dating the recording, but today we just put in a new channel for helping out with Pathfinder 2nd edition questions. We're talking about, again, the animals are making all of the noise. We're also talking about maybe opening up a roleplay channel. There's a place to put cats and babies and cute things. There's a meme place. There's a not safe for work meme place. There's the theme of the week. Please answer the theme of the week. I crave interaction. Come on the Discord and interact. I need feedback. And speaking of feedback, if you'd like to rate and review, rate this. Let's go with fancy signatures. 1 to 5 fancy signatures. If you think it's really good, give us 5 fancy signatures on your podcatcher of choice. If you think, oh boy, well, you can give us 1 fancy signature. Probably finished off with a frowny face. But you know what? Give us the rating you think we deserve, and ways that you think we've done well, if the podcatcher rating system allows for comments, or things that you think we could improve upon. Silver, over to you.
Alright, so on those fun little weirdness there, if Discord is not your thing and you want to make Jake sad, or if written review is not good enough for what you want to do, we are also on social medias as Fate's Rest. I know there's X, Facebook. We do actually get a little bit of play around on Facebook because at least 3 of us are involved in the Facebook a little bit. So we definitely can check in there. On X, I think it's just my... No, I have to re-sign that in, so I'm not on there anymore. I think that's mostly text. And then we're on a couple other stuff where we kind of we'll all try to share as much as we can. If we use it, then we'll try to share it. But yeah, definitely come on there, yell into the void, and target us with your yells, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. In a maximum of 30 business days. Sorry, bad shipping joke.
We also have an email.
I actually replied all of that email instead of replied. Oops. Our theme of the week.
It's specifically at Gmail, by the way.
Yes, we do have a Gmail. FaceRest is Gmail. Please, if you wish to email us feedback or anything like that, please send us stuff. Please, serious inquiries, anything that is not serious or I guess whatever you want to say. If anything that's not like a serious inquiry will most likely not be answered. But we will try to answer there if that's where you choose to inquire. But theme of the week. What do you, dear beautiful listeners, think was the heinous way the guard was murdered? And I will give a bonus if you don't want to answer a question about murder. How do you think Theo and or Dorric apply their signature on documentation?
Ooh, that's an excellent question.
Because you described yours, so that's the guys has been described. So how do we think that Theo and or Dorric sign?
Bonus points if you put it in the Discord as like a drawing.
There you go.
We'll try you out on the podcast if you do that.
Yes, I can even add you on to the Instagram, and we can put you out in the social medias too. Is some cool stuff there. If they decide that their characters would sign that way and they really like how you did it, then you'll definitely be shouted out. And if you need to, if you do not know how the names are fully spelled, you can inquire on the different, Discord, the social media, whatever. You can inquire there and ask us, and we can give you the full spelling of their names. So if you do want to actually make that signature, then you can have the full spelling of their names. So you can make that signature how you think they would sign things. So that's some fun stuff to play with. And as we always do, we love you. And
Bye.
goodbye.